What is going on, Nuggets Nation, NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back in to Nuggets Today, presented by FanArch. We have a couple topics to talk about here. I know that the offseason is dying down a little bit, but there's still some news to talk about, which is a very good thing if you ask me. So the first topic I want to get into is that the fact that the Jonas drama is over, sort of, not officially. So there was talk about Jonas officially being traded, which that trade is officially done, which is a great thing. But when he was asked about his NBA status, he had said, quote unquote, "When I am sure, I will talk about everything." Now, there's some things that point to Jonas potentially still being gone, and that is the fact that Al Horford has not yet signed to a team. So I think that there's some things to look at here, right? Jonas is a professional, obviously, according to Ryan Blackburn, that if he does stay on the Nuggets, he will be a very good backup, but it's tough for Denver to convince him to want to stay with the conversation of him being a backup to Jokic. Now, I don't know how many different lineups they could run, and that's something that we're going to get to in a little while, that they could run with Jokic as the 5 or 4 and Jonas playing the other position, because they're both good, but they're not great on defense, either of them. I know Jokic does have his defensive strong suits. The guy could fill the lane on pick and rolls, which is great. Any ball that's going between him, he's going to grab. That's why he averages so many steals, as a big man at least. I know when it comes to rim protection, it'd be a little tough, but that's why you have guys like Holmes, like I'm going to get to in a little bit. That's why you have guys like Peyton Watson, who's a smaller forward who could protect the rim a little bit. So I think, like I said, there's a lot more to unfold. But I do think that at least the drama of getting Dario Saric off the books is officially over, that Denver could finally save that money. And like I said, I think Al Horford may be sort of holding out to see what happens with Denver. He's still in talks with the Warriors and was supposed to sign earlier last week or this past weekend and has not yet. Supposedly the Hawks and the Clippers were two teams to watch in the Al Horford sweepstakes, but I also wouldn't mind him in Denver. So again, like I said, there's still some stuff to unfold, but let's hope that either the Nuggets can figure out this whole Jonas drama this weekend, or this week at least, and then push it to the weekend, or maybe they still are in the talks to get out Horford and Jonas stays, and they have 2 backups, or 3, I guess, with Holmes. But that is, again, the latest update on this Al Horford drama. But Al Horford is also a semi-decent shooter, so I wouldn't mind him and Jokic running together. Jokic can also shoot, and I know David Adelman said he sees Jonas as a point center, so there may not be a backup point guard brought in, but who knows? Talking about three-point shooting, let's hop into this next topic, and that is the three-point numbers, and they are top tier if you look at percentage-wise, right? So obviously something I'm very big on is league average, and last year the league average was 36%. Now, you look at what Denver was able to do this offseason, and they're able to add a guy like Cam Johnson. They're able to add a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. Like I said, Jonas didn't shoot great this past year on Sacramento, but if he stays, he's a good backup. We've seen Holmes in the summer league, and he was able to let the ball fly. And you look at percentages. Now, Aaron Gordon shot 43.6% from 3 last season. Jokic shot 41.7% from 3 last season. Christian Brown shot 39.7% from 3 last season. Jamal Murray shot 39.3% from 3 last season. Cam Johnson, 39%. Tim Hardaway Jr., 36.8%. So that is now 6 guys on your roster who shot above league average from the three-point line last year. Now, Denver, not that they aren't a good shooting team, because obviously the numbers tell you otherwise, but they were, I believe, bottom half of the NBA in three-point attempts last year. And they decided to go out, fix that, go get guys like Tim Hardaway and Cam Johnson. And then you take a look at their bench. Like I said, Holmes can be a stretch 4 for you, and he could be a stretch 5. They're going to play him at the 5. But then you go out and you look at 2 guys who came off the bench for them last year. One guy is somebody who I wasn't the biggest fan of when it came to shooting the ball. Peyton Watson shot 35% from 3 last season. I believe Julian Strawther, right around 35%. So 2 guys who are shooting 1% under league average. So now you have 6 guys above league average. You have 2 guys just under league average. And you have the best passing center that we may have ever seen in our entire lives running the, I guess, I don't want to say primary ball handling, but running the 5 and playing at the high post as well as the low post. This is a team that was perfectly built for Nikola Jokic, and in my opinion, is the best team we have seen around Nikola Jokic. Now, like I said, there's a lot that you can do with this Denver team, and that's the versatility here. If you look at what Denver wants to do, realistically, they can go and they can target multiple aspects of the game. And I was listening to Hoops tonight, and they had some interesting points too, because now instead of it being Denver could look at the best option, that's Christian Brown guarding Shea, let's say, if they're playing the Thunder. Now they can go have Bruce Brown guard him if they want him in. Now they could have Cam Johnson if they want him in there. Denver has the versatility to finally run a fully shooting lineup that maybe they didn't have last year, which I know MPJ is there, Aaron Gordon's there, Brown is there, Murray's there, but you could argue that Cam Johnson's a better shooter. You can argue that Tim Hardaway's a better shooter than Bruce Brown, even if the numbers didn't say so because he took more threes than him. You have Strother coming back off the bench. So if Denver wants to run a shooting 5, they can. If they want to run a big lineup where they're playing Cam Johnson at the 2, Aaron Gordon in there, Tim Hardaway in there, Bruce Brown, Jokic, Jonas Valanciunas if he stays on the roster, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson. There's so many things you could do. A defensive lineup now. Tim Hardaway, underrated defender. Christian Brown, Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, Jokic, AG. If you want to run a defensive lineup that can still score the ball, the versatility and depth around Jokic can actually give him a break. If you look at Denver and you go, okay, we want a defensive lineup that is going to be able to score on offense, you have a lineup of Bruce Brown at the 1, Christian Brown at the 2, or Tim Hardaway at the 2, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Deron Holmes, Peyton Watson. Any of those guys can be in that lineup. Jamal Murray, not a terrible defender. You want him to stay in, he can. But you also don't need him to because you could give him the break with Bruce Brown. I think that this, again, like I said, is the best Denver team that we have seen in a while. And I know that Stretch wanted me to cover this, so I did. They have versatility. They have different lineups. You want a shot at the end of the game? Okay, who do you want shooting the ball? Cam Johnson, he's in the game. Jokic, he's in the game. Aaron Gordon, he's in the game. Jamal, he's in the game. Tim Hardaway, who's a knockdown shooter, he's in the game. I think that this is, like I said, the best team I've seen in Denver in a very long time, even better than the 2023 championship team, if you ask me. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is somebody I just kept mentioning, and that is Deron Holmes. And I think that, again, I was listening to Hoops tonight, and they had some things to say about Deron. Now, Deron's been playing well in the Summer League, doing his job. He's very confident in what he's been doing. He said that he wants to play his role against the Timberwolves in the Summer League. I know Summer League doesn't mean much, but they gave him a more physical game of basketball, and he seemed sort of iffy. He wasn't really used to that physical brand of basketball when we played 2 nights ago, or I guess 4 nights ago at this point. He did seem more physical. So I think game 1 of Summer League, he seemed physical. He seemed like he wanted to play that brand of basketball, throwing elbows here and there, pushing guys. Then when the Timberwolves came around and showed him what the NBA is really like with guys like Dillingham and Terrence Shannon, he seemed a little standoffish. So Hoops tonight said that he may not be ready to play and he might be fighting for minutes with Najee. I think that he'll see more court time than Najee, but I don't think that Denver will come out giving him minutes right away, especially if Jonas is there. I think he's fighting for a third rotational spot for now and then proving his way as time goes. But that's all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. If you guys got anything you want me to cover, let me know down below. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Again, we are right under 1,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.